Hello everyone, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and I am back today with the double Miyuki Delicas Beads of the Month Club that I received this month, August 2022. This is part of the rotating club that you're welcome to sign up for. That'll rotate you through all of their different clubs, and you'll end up getting something different every month. There's also two different sizes, a single size and a double. Because I have the double, I'll be showing you 8 containers containing 10 grams each of these Miyuki Delica beads in a color coordinated palette called Very Berry. And those themes and color palettes are going to change every month as well. You're welcome to sign up for the Delicas of the Month Club only. So if you want to get those every single month, you can do that. And all the information about their different clubs is located on their website, which I will leave right down below the video. Just check for the link there, and I also have a coupon code if you'd like to try them out. That is Opal10, OPAL 10. That'll save you 10% off the first month of your first club. And of course, you're welcome to sign up to more than one if you'd like to do that. In addition to their beads, they also have an optional Findings Companion Pack subscription add-on for an additional charge, but no additional shipping cost. And I have that here as well. We'll take a look at that first before we get into the beads. And they always send a really interesting and high quality assortment of items. The tones of metal change every month. It looks like this time we will be looking at some antique brass findings. And everything is listed on this insert inside the bag. So briefly we'll do a flip over so we'll see what we're about to get into. And we'll take a close-up look at everything going down the list. And right off the bat, we have something that's really interesting. This is a segment of 3mm box chain, and we have 2 feet of this actually. And this is a prime example of how they provide findings, chain, metal components that aren't your typical, quite as common material that you might ordinarily pick out. So this is something I don't have. I haven't worked with a box chain like this before, and it's really neat to see this show up as a surprise in the companion pack. Up next, we have some 17.5 by 10mm curved leaves. There's 4 of these included, and of course you could use these as charms or any type of metal component that you'd like to be hanging off of your jewelry in some way. You can see it's got that hole there at the top and the curved shape, and both sides have a lot of that leafy detail. In addition, we have 2 pairs of 17mm fancy fishhook ear wires with stoppers. I dropped one of the stoppers down below, but each one of those comes with a stopper. And again, we have some fishhook ear wires that are different than your standard fishhooks with a ball and spring. These have a bit more style to them, a little bit more of a high quality feel, and coordinate with our other metallic components this month. Also included are 2 of these Tiara Cast Vine Heart links. They have a loop that's located on both sides of this heart-like shape, and they're the same on the front and the back. There's also 2 of the Tiara Cast Vine Hook and Eye clasps. You can see that we have the hook component, which looks very similar to the connectors we just took a look at. These are actually a little bit bigger in total. And then we have the eye portion with that larger loop. That hook, of course, will fit right into that and make for an easy clasp. An item that is surely to come in handy is a set of 5 22 gauge 2-inch length Tiara Cast head pins. These aren't really anything special as far as what's at the bottom. They just have the regular flat hammered ending at the bottom. Other practical components to get, we have 10 of the Tiara Cast 20 gauge 4mm size jump rings, and one of my favorite things included in this Findings Companion Pack to wrap it up is a pair of these post ear wire findings. They have a substantial little weight to them, a scrolling detail that shows off that antique brass color, and a loop there at the bottom to attach to your beadwork. So this is a great example of what you can expect with their Findings Companion Pack. It's definitely something I recommend, and I love getting these month after month because it's a great way to build up the stash of higher quality findings, things that are a little bit more interesting, and can add those details into your beadwork that can help to elevate your pieces. And now that we've taken a look at that, let's get into our beads. So I received the Very Berry theme. And again, this is the double 11-0 Delicas of the Month Club. If you're on the rotation like I am, you may have received this particular theme, or you may have received a different one, just depending on maybe what you've gotten before and their stock level and availability. Keep that in mind. So this is just an example of one of their many beautiful themes, and whether or not you get the single or the double size club, you'll get 8 containers. These happen to have twice as many beads as you'll find in the single club, but the same number of containers. And they do a great job mixing up the color palettes. So let's do a brief flip over of these. Seeing some very rich and elegant berry tones in lots of different types of finishes. We'll take a look at everything in there, of course, up close, one at a time, and we'll go down the list. We have everything, of course, named for us, so you know exactly what you're getting. You can get more of those outside of the subscription on your own if you end up needing more of a particular color. So let me take these out and I will be right back. The first color on our list is called Metallic Dark Raspberry. And as the name suggests, we see this metallic color with this very deep reddish purple tone, sort of a deep plum color. And I'm not seeing this one listed as Duracoat, just in case anybody asks. Sometimes there's an additional protective coating put on some of these high-quality Japanese glass seed beads to give an extra layer of protection to the metallic coatings in particular, but this one may not have the coating. And if you are new to the world of Delica beads, they are very similar to size 11-0 round seed beads, except they have the cylindrical shape like you see in this ring, where the beads are actually going to click in place together in a very uniform manner, just like this. You can use them in brick stitching, peyote stitch, things like that, where you don't see the gaps in between the beads like you would in the round seed beads, and they're very uniform in size. I do have a tutorial on this particular ring and some other Delica bead rings going further back in my channel. If you do a search for peyote ring in my archives, you'll probably find this come up, just to let you know. For our second color, we have the Raspberry Lined Crystal AB. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that raspberry lining that they have. It's a lighter tone of pinky purple overall. It's got the AB coating, which also gives us the iridescence on top of the crystal clear glass. And that pop of color, like it says, is coming from the inner lining around the hole. Our third color on the list is called Mulberry Rainbow Gold Luster. And this is another unique combination. You get these hints of like a golden topaz with some areas of the glass, depending on how the light is hitting these. But overall, you get mainly that berry shade of deep pinkish purple. There's some translucence to these, and they provide a fair bit of shine. Fourth on our list is the Transparent Dark Topaz AB. So this is bringing us a bit of a different color overall with this introduction of the deep antique golden topaz. This is definitely a beautiful combination to use, this tone with the pinks and purples, and you still get some of those pinks and purples showing up in that AB coating that you can see, giving us a little bit of the rainbow effect and bringing in some different colors into that metallic shine that we see on top of that smooth and glossy coating. Container number 5 is holding the Cranberry Lined Emerald Luster. That's really interesting. So on close inspection, these actually have a bit of the emerald greenish look to them in the outside area of the bead. And then inside you can see that cranberry lining And overall, that gives us a very rich royal purple color that comes through the greenish glass. And there's an extra luster coating, which gives these an added sheen on the top. So just a lot going on there. And another example of how Beads of the Month Club gives us not only a variety of different colors in the palette, but also provides some really interesting combinations when it comes to the different finishes and types of beads that are out there. Next, in our 6th container, we have the cranberry-lined peridot luster. So before we had the emerald green on the outside, this time we have a peridot, a lighter, more yellowish green color, and you can still see that cranberry lining that is showing through. But notice how you get that overall very different effect. The other ones had a rich royal purple color, and these are coming through as more of a deep rosy pink. And you get those hints of light yellowish green showing up when you look closely at the beads. And again, they have that extra sheen on top of the glass. Container number 7 is holding the Midnight Blue Lined Aqua AB, another stunner. I can definitely see why this was included in the Very Berry theme, because they have a beautiful midnight blue, sort of blueberry cast. They're very dark, sort of navy. They have a gorgeous shimmer with the AB coating. Once again, and that midnight blue is actually what's lining these beads, and then on the outside the glass is actually in the aqua color, which is hard to tell with the darker sort of lining, but it's just another way that we see these different things coming together in these tiny little pieces of cut glass to give us overall different appearances. And I like this addition of some of the deep rich blue in addition to the deep pinkish reddish purple tones. Our 8th and final container in this particular club is holding the Matte Metallic Blueberry Gold Iris. Another great selection. So overall, we have this opaque, very deep blue with hints of some variations of the tone because of that iris coating that they have. And they have more of a brushed metallic look because they are the matte finish as opposed to a regular metallic, which is more smooth and shiny and glossy. So they're a little bit more toned down and bring us another of these very rich, deep dark navy blueberry tones to the palette. I think that's a gorgeous combination. I love it. And even if I don't use these colors together, I know these colors are going to show up in my beadwork. Love working with Delicas beads. They're also great for doing bezeling and other precision bead weaving work because you can really count on the size and you're not constantly culling beads that are misshapen, and you can really depend on how many you need for very specific projects. So awesome job once again, I think, with the color selection, different from the ones I have received before, which is also appreciated. And this isn't actually all of the beads that are included showing up in that tray. I only poured some of the beads into each of those sections. So I have a ton of them still left over, as you can see from these containers, but I love putting them in there to really show off how the palettes come together and how they look outside of the containers. So I highly recommend Beads of the Month Club, not just for the Delicas, but all of their different clubs, and you can definitely check out the playlist that I have to see all the different ones they have to offer. You can find out all the specifics on their website, including the prices and quantities and things like that as well, so be sure to check that link down below. And they don't advertise that they ship internationally, but if you contact them via email or their phone number, you can ask them about your specific location. They may be able to provide you with a quote for shipping to your location. Their customer service is fabulous, so don't be afraid to ask if you're interested. One other perk to these beading subscriptions is that you will get access to 3 new downloadable and printable patterns every month in a link that is printed at the bottom of your paper invoice that comes in your package. So be sure to check for those every month and save them maybe in a file. Over time, you'll build up a decent library of beading patterns that way. And a lot of times they go with some of their more unique shapes that they send. I'll be back in a week or so to share 2 of their other clubs, the Hot and Trendy and the 2-hole Beads of the Month clubs. So if you have interest in those, be sure especially to check back for that video to come. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this particular palette, Beads of the Month club in general, or anything else you'd like to say. Be sure to give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to my channel while you're here if you haven't already, because I would love to have you back. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate having you, and look forward to seeing you again real soon. I want to mention that coupon code one more time before I forget, Opal10, OPAL10, that'll be down below if you want to use that to save 10% off the first month of a new subscription. And besides that, I will see you all again real soon. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.